So anyone who's been around the channel for the past few weeks knows that I've been maining Raider for a while, in an attempt to get him to max gear rank before the start of Season 2 and the new heroes take over my attention. And in that time I've been standing by my claim that Raider is one of the weaker heroes in the game and that he needs a buff. Now I'm not the only person who believes this, of course, but in the comments and in the chat of some of my live streams, a lot of you guys ask why I think Raider needs a buff and what I believe needs to be done to make him a more competitive hero. So today I'll be talking about what I believe needs to be done to Raider whenever he gets patched. So the first and biggest change I would like to be done for him is to give Raider a heavy attack after guard break. So currently if you land a guard break, you cannot land a heavy attack from any direction because they're all too slow. This means that we either have to do a light attack, throw, do an unblockable, or start a mix-up, which doesn't sound too bad, but we don't really get too much guaranteed damage like the other heroes do. Now giving Raider a free heavy after guard break would honestly be enough for me, and I'd be happy with that. But there are chances that this wouldn't happen since Raider's heavy attacks are pretty strong, so I'm not keeping my fingers crossed. But a damage reduction on the heavy attack after the guard break could fix that. Speaking of heavies, a guaranteed heavy after wall splat from any distance would be great as well, since it's still not 100% guaranteed from close range. Next up is something not a lot of people talk about, and that's guard switch speed. So if you're not aware, Raider, Nobushi, Shigoki, and Lawbringer all have slower guard switch speeds, which means fighting against heroes with fast light attacks like Peacekeeper or Valkyrie is extremely tough. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but you can't switch guards after being hit by a light attack in the wrong direction and still be able to block an attack. I know that sounds weird, but let me give you an example. Let's say I'm fighting Valkyrie and she hits me with a light attack on my right. If I guess that she's going to attack from above and switch my guard there, I can't switch my guard over if I'm wrong. If you want to look more into this, you can. There's a few videos and tons of threads about it, so you can see, more exact information and have a much better explanation. Anyways, if Raider had the same guard switch speed as everyone else, that would make fighting fast heroes and heroes with flicker a lot more tolerable. And the last thing I want to talk about, but I don't see happening, would be to give Raider a way to open up opponents. But I just don't see how they can add that in a patch. Now with the top tier heroes, they all have a way to open up their opponent, or at least land guaranteed damage. Peacekeeper has her fast lights and zone, Warlord has his headbutt, Warden has his vortex and flicker, but Raider doesn't really have a way to get through a good opponent. Yes, we have his heavy soft feint, but that can be read pretty easily. We have to rely on our feints, soft feints, and unblockable mix-ups to get through an opponent. Again, this wouldn't be an issue if every other hero had to rely on these things. I don't really have a solution on giving Raider an option to open up their opponents, but it would be nice if we could. Now I will still use Raider because he's a lot of fun and I feel rewarded for taking down an S tier hero with him, since I didn't really need to rely on cheap tools to beat anyone. Anyways, if you agree with me at all, of course leave a like since it really does help the channel, and if you didn't like it, feel free to leave a dislike this time and tell me why. If you want, you can also sub to this channel so that you can hear what I complain about in the next video.